Everybody talks about wanting good curb appeal, but what exactly does that mean? Well, to me, it basically means putting your best foot forward where your yard is concerned. So it's attracting people's eye from the street into your yard. Maybe it's into your garden, up your driveway, in your front entryway, whatever. But it's making that good impression right from the start. I'd like to share with you 5 easy steps for how to get great curb appeal, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is because I'm going to use these exact same steps for my front yard and improving my curb appeal through landscaping, because that's what my channel is about. It's through landscaping and gardening ideas, and hopefully we can get inspired. Step 1 is to come up with your plan. That could be anything from taking measurements, if you're going to be that particular, or using some spray paint to outline the area that you know you want to dig up and add something new to. It could be just deciding if you want evergreen shrubs or something like that. In my case, since I bought a new construction home, the builder had put in like some standard plantings in the start, but I knew that that wasn't going to be my forever plan, especially people who love gardening and changing things up all the time. I've made a lot of changes in my yard in the years that I've lived here already, but now it was time for more. I knew for me that evergreens were going to be the way to go. And the other thing was, I didn't only want green color, I wanted things that had different colors to them, things that made sense together. After making a plan, step 2 is to clean and prep the area. Now, in my case, I had some additional things to do, like I had this yellow bush that was hiding just behind my major row of hedges that is the loropetalum, and I had to remove this yellow bush because A, it was in the way, and B, even though you couldn't see it from the road, this was something that I had wanted to take out of where it was, basically in hiding, and put it somewhere else in my landscape that people would be able to see it and enjoy it a little bit more. So I removed the yellow bush first, and then the next thing I had to do was finally take that major huge boulder off the back of my four-wheeler. This was a boulder that we had collected from upstate New York over the summer, and I was waiting to find the perfect place for it, and I found that right in my very front yard. So finally got that boulder removed, and now that it's in its place, it's never moving again. Then it was time to actually get my edging done, get the grass torn up from that particular area, and go from there. Step 3 is selecting your shrubs. So do you want them to be evergreen? Are you looking for something that flowers, something that's a particular color? So for me, I knew I wanted evergreen in the front because, let's face it, when flowers die out at the end of a season, it's kind of sad and it leaves a little hole where that flower had been. So I wanted evergreen, I wanted certain colors, and I knew I wanted to line the front of my flower bed with liriope, which I had purchased a long time ago thinking I was going to get to this project. And I have liriope lining my front flower bed just on the corner of my yard. So this way I was going to bring it to my front and match the two things. I also had a very beautiful large liriope off in the side of my yard, tucked away where no one could enjoy it, and I dug that up, and because it was so large, I divided it up into 4 and was able to utilize that in my landscape as well. So being able to propagate anything you already have in your garden is just a cost savings and a bonus. So behind me, what now is essentially a row of hedges, if you will, is the loropetalum. So that has like the purplish tinted foliage as well as like a magenta fringe flower on them. So I was looking for something with a little more yellow color so I can kind of do the complementary yellow and purple together. So I decided on the kaleidoscope abelia to be my next bunch of shrubs that are going to go in front of the loropetalum. I selected this because of its year-round color interest. So this is essentially the color that it would have been looking like for spring, and this one is already beginning to transition into more of its fall look, where with its more red tones added into the foliage and also the flowers that are on here. I love it. I think it's going to be excellent. It is going to be evergreen, so I will have visual interest out here all year round. That was something I was definitely after. So then this section over here is where you saw me take out my rose bushes, also using our trusty four-wheeler. So I'm going to do the same thing and have the Leary Oak be in the front so that this whole extended front flower bed is lined with the same thing. But I got two new goodies for either side of this area that I want to show you. I got two of these gardenia plants. So this is the Diamond Spire gardenia. I've never had them before. This one is hardy to zone 7, which works great for me since I am here in zone 8A. It wants full apart sun, which I got. It gets 3 to 4 feet high, definitely have that space, and 2 feet wide, I also have that space. Excellent, excellent. Every single thing about this is excellent. So the gardenia is going to have white, fragrant flowers. They are going to start blooming in the spring, and they are going to bloom throughout fall. So of course it's fall now and I'm just getting this baby into the ground, but that's okay. I'm super excited for the future of it in my garden. My first step to increase the curb appeal out here was to enlarge my actual space, my garden space, instead of the lawn space. So I did that by drawing out my spray paint line in the grass, then I edged it, then I dug up all the grass that was here. Mostly weeds, really, if I'm honest. Now it's time for me to add some good soil in there because I have very, very sandy soil here, and that's what I'm about to get going on right now. Now that my shrubs are in place, and I actually moved a couple of flowers from different areas as well, everything is planted up. Now it's time for the next step. The next step is mulching. Step 4. Mulching is basically like adding a coat of paint over a freshly sheetrocked and spackled wall. It gives you that nice finished look. All the edges kind of look like they're cleaned up, and let's start doing some mulching right now. What an absolutely huge difference the mulching makes versus not mulching, where you can still see especially this icky light colored sandy soil. Step 5 is the last step, and that is going to be your most welcoming entryway, as well as adding that bit of pizzazz. We want to add a little decor, maybe some flower pots, whatever's going to draw the eye really from the street line up to your front door. I just have to decide on exactly how I'm doing that. One of the things I know I have to do though is finish my stepping stones right here. I have a 2-width stepping stone area along the driveway over here, but then I had run out of stepping stones here, so I only have the one. So I'm going to finish this area with my stepping stones, and eventually the whole path of stones beside the driveway will go to the end of the driveway. Our driveway is so dang narrow that there's almost no room to get out of your car. So for me, my curb appeal was achieved by adding shrubs, adding my large rock, adding a few decorative items, and then moving some flowers over where they just needed to be spaced better anyway. I added some additional stepping stones that would lead you to my front porch. And I have to admit, my entryway to my front porch was already looking good because my blooming Diplodenia and also lantana on the opposite side have just been looking amazing for months. Hopefully you found some inspiration or ideas or thoughts here. Hopefully this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for watching, and happy planting.